Good day to you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We've been reading in the book of Numbers. Now, last time we read Numbers chapter 19. You might remember that was about the ordinance of the red heifer and about how they created that water of purification, which had a lot of cleansing goodness to it. Now we're ready to read chapter 20. This is Numbers chapter 20. I am reading from the Amplified Bible. Then the Israelites, the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, in the 40th year after leaving Egypt. And the people lived in Kadesh. Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered together against Moses and Aaron. The people contended with Moses and said, "If only we had perished when our brothers perished in the plague before the Lord. Why have you brought up the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness to die here, we and our livestock? Why have you made us come up from Egypt to bring us to this wretched place? It is not a place of grain or of figs or of vines or of pomegranates, and there is no water to drink." Then Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the doorway of the tent of meeting, tabernacle, and fell on their faces before the Lord in prayer. Then the glory and brilliance of the Lord appeared to them, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod, you and your brother Aaron assemble the congregation, and speak to the rock in front of them, so that it will pour out its water. In this way you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and let the congregation and their livestock drink fresh water." So Moses took the rod from before the Lord, just as he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly before the rock. Moses said to them, "Listen now, you rebels. Must we bring you water out of this rock?" Then Moses raised his hand in anger, and with his rod he struck the rock twice, instead of speaking to the rock as the Lord had commanded. And the water poured out abundantly, and the congregation and their livestock drank fresh water. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you have not believed, trusted me, to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel, you therefore shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. These are the waters of Meribah, contention, strife, where the sons of Israel contended with the Lord, and he showed himself holy among them." So I want us to notice a few things here about this, where Moses at the rock, he's supposed to speak to the rock and the water will come out. But instead, in anger, because he's angry and he's frustrated, and you remember he did this, do you remember with the 10 Commandments, the first time he had the tablets, he threw them down and broke them because he was frustrated, rightfully so. I mean, here, the people are acting incorrectly. It's one thing to go to God and ask him for something, but it's another to be, hateful and untrusting and disbelieving over it, because, we cannot please God if we don't believe in him and believe that he wants good things for us. Anyway, so out of anger here, he strikes the rock twice instead of speaking to it. The water still came out abundantly. You'll notice God did not punish the whole congregation for Moses and Aaron doing incorrectly. I'm not exactly sure, since this appears to be Moses mainly, I'm not exactly sure how Aaron went along with this. Maybe they were just both in that same angry mindset, and I'm not sure what Aaron's part of that was. But nonetheless, they were both doing this together, and because they didn't do this correctly, they are not going to take the children of Israel into the promised land. So now we're going to continue on with verse 14. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. "Thus says your brother Israel, You know all the hardship that has come upon us as a nation, that our fathers' ancestors went down to Egypt, and we lived there for a long time, and the Egyptians treated both us and our fathers badly. But when we cried out to the Lord for help, he heard us and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. Now look, we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your territory. Please let us pass through your land. We will not pass through a field or through a vineyard. We will not even drink water from a well. We will go along the king's highway, not turning off course to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory. But the king of Edom said to him, You shall not pass through my territory, or I will come out against you with the sword. Again, the Israelites said to him, We will go by the highway, trade route, and if I and my livestock drink any of your water, then I will pay for it. Only let me pass through on foot, nothing else. But the king of Edom said, You shall not pass through my territory. And Edom came out against Israel with many people and a strong hand. Thus the king of Edom refused to give Israel passage through his territory, so Israel turned away from him. Now when they set out from Kadesh, the Israelites, the whole congregation, came to Mount Hor. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron at Mount Hor, by the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron will be gathered to his people in death, for he shall not enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you both rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son. So Aaron will be gathered to his fathers, and will die there. So Moses did just as the Lord had commanded, and they went up Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. After Moses stripped Aaron of his priestly garments and put them on Eleazar his son, Aaron died there on the mountaintop. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron had died, all the house of Israel wept, mourned for him 30 days. So just a couple of things I want to mention here. You'll notice that when Israel wanted to pass through the land of Edom, Moses and the Israelites were basically saying, we will take the path, the highway. We will not turn off course. We will not pass through a field. You got to remember, this was like 1 million people or more. I forget exactly how many people we're talking about, but it's a large number of people. And they're just pledging that even if they drink some water, they will pay for it. They will not come through and just ravage the land. But of course, the king of Edom was worried, if I let a huge nation of people, 1 million people, just wander through my land, how am I going to keep them from invading the land, from just ravaging the fields or taking what they want? It's 1 million people, right? So, rightfully, from an earthly perspective, okay, he was worried about his kingdom and about letting them pass through. So he refused because he didn't trust them, obviously. So that's something to think about and remember. I think we're going to have some repercussion for that later. Now, the death of Aaron, obviously you see that they are transferring the high priestly duties from Aaron to his son Eleazar. And then Aaron dies on Mount Hor. So, but you'll notice the stripping, it sounds like it was a mean thing, the way this is worded. He was stripped of his priestly garments. But the thing was, they were just transferring the office of high priest from Aaron to his son Eleazar, because Aaron was old and was going to die. The Lord said that he was going to die. So this was going to happen. No doubt it was due to age or just the difficulties of life. You have to remember, life was a lot harder back then. And they actually lived to a decent age, especially for those times. Nonetheless, that is Numbers chapter 20. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless you and keep you safe. And remember, God loves you.